Welcome back to the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Games and Things. OurGameRoom.com is their website, but boy, if you get out to the showroom, you're going to spend all day. It is a really great place. And if you got somebody with a birthday coming up or you want to get somebody a gift and you're not sure what they need, not sure what to do, get them a gift certificate from Games and Things. Let them go in there and pick. They've got everything from as small as darts and dartboards all the way up to pool tables, poker tables, arcade games, bar room setups, and home theater seating. Games and Things. Check it out, OurGameRoom.com. Okay, want to welcome in the next member of our panel in here to talk basketball. We have former Vol assistant coach, former D1 basketball player, Mark Pancratz. Hey, Mark, thank you. You've been at Tennessee long enough. You know that we have to do these shows, about every 2 or 3 years. So thanks for coming all the way in here to do a segment. I appreciate that. Let's start. Tennessee was playing pretty well. I was bragging on them last Sunday. You listed about 5 things they needed to work on. Woof, boy, did things turn bad quick. Tuesday, they look bad at Florida. They get hammered by an undermanned Florida team that had guys out. And then last night at home, just as bad against Missouri. What's happened to this Tennessee basketball team?
Well, I mean, we're not taking care of the basketball. We have turnover after turnover. You can't then defend turnovers. If you look at points in transition, we're getting beat there. I think teams have had some like 76 points in the paint in the last 2 games versus Tennessee's about 40. And so it's just a huge differentiation. And that not only speaks to not just our defense, but more so our offense. I think the biggest difference is our offense has become stagnant. Fulkerson can't post up and post up deep. So now we're trying to get him the ball in the mid-post. Teams have just been way too physical for him, pushing him out. And then our guards, they're getting sped up because teams, the scouting report, they're getting up into them. And we're just not able to find a dynamic scorer that can knock down consistent shots or make shots easier for their teammates. And so it's shown even to where now our confidence is lacking a little bit. You could tell in some of those late game situations, guys just didn't have the same confidence. And offensively, it's bled into their defense, which has been our calling card since Barnes has been here. Barnes
was all over them after the Florida game. Last night, he made a couple of comments about we'll be okay. I wonder if he saw that lack of confidence, and that may be why he's changing his approach at all.
Well, so, because, you know, at one point in the game, I was saying to my wife when we were sitting on the couch, somebody needs to grab a guy by the collar and just get this team going. That's none of these guys' M.O. Grant Williams wasn't like that. Admiral Schofield was a little bit like that. But they had the physical prowess to where they could go, whether it was get a physical rebound, set a physical screen, or make a physical play to the basket. That's not these guys' M.O. We shoot mid-range jump shots. We shoot fall-away jump shots, meaning ponds in the post. So that physical presence is not there to take ownership back of, hey, this is our court. This is our game. We're the 6th-ranked team in the country. We're going to win this game. We're all kind of looking to the eye. Who's going to be the guy that steps up? And right now, nobody is.
Okay, I'm going to skip the graphic, telling my director here, because we're going to skip that. I'm going in a different direction. We took a different question there. Mississippi State is up next. Give me a scouting report, and what's Tennessee got to do to get back on track?
Well, to me, I love to sit here, just like this coaching staff. I can promise you when they're watching film today, they're not watching much Mississippi State. It's all stuff internally that they've got to get figured out. They've got to move the basketball offensively. Mississippi State's going to do the same thing. They're going to spread us out. They're going to speed us up in full court. They've got good guard play. Just like any of these SEC teams, if a team starts making perimeter jump shots, like Tennessee did at Missouri, which is why they won, and then why Missouri beat Tennessee is they got off to a fast start, making perimeter jump shots, making their free throws. Tennessee did not. So if Tennessee cannot put enough pressure on offensively by making good plays offensively, getting good shots, making those shots, finishes at the rim. Victor Bailey, I'm looking at you at that halftime finish. That was a big miss at the end of the half. If we don't kind of tighten up our house, it doesn't matter what Mississippi State does. They've got some good players. They've got some good guard play. But at the end of the day, Tennessee's got to figure it out and start manning up.
Let me ask you this one. We'll be on the big topic of the week here is the coaching change, the AD change, overall the program, the coaching change in football, of course. Rick Barnes, in his 6th season at Tennessee, this will be his 4th AD, which tells you a lot about Tennessee. 4 ADs in 6 years. I thought it was interesting that Donde Plowman said that she had spoken to other coaches on campus about what they needed in a new AD, and wasn't surprised, but she did come out and say that they felt they need an AD for all the programs. You just had a football coach come in and take over. I think we all know where the direction was focused with him. from a Rick Barnes perspective, do you think it's a positive for him that his new AD has a brother who's a basketball coach in the same conference, that this is a guy who may be more willing to look at other sports and not just football?
Well, I think it's a positive for both sides of the story. I don't think Mike White is coming in concerned about what is the coaching staff of men's basketball doing things recruiting-wise. I think he can focus in on football because at the end of the day, this is a football school. All the other coaches, they understand that when they took this job, if they're the Tennessee tennis coach or the golf coach, you got to get your love, got to get your appreciation when you're in staff meetings. But at the end of the day, let's be real, football, if they get this thing right, everything else becomes a lot easier for them to recruit to, becomes a lot easier for their programs to have fans showing up to. It's a football job. And so now, because Barnes does things the right way, I think the new AD can focus more on getting football right, which is best for everybody in every program.
That's interesting. That sounds like that would be kind of an opposite approach of what the coaches apparently said to the chancellor. If they're saying we need somebody who's focused on all of us, not just football, it would seem they had a bigger issue. It seems that they had a different view than what you take, which is, look, you got to fix football first.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's the old 80-20, right? I mean, the 80-20 rule. If 80% of revenue is coming into the athletic department through football, well, time has to be spent on football. So you can't do it all. Now you have to show love and appreciation, and all your associatees got to give love and listen. But at the end of the day, we got to get football right.
There you go, Mark Pancratz. Always good. Sorry, we only had one segment with you today. I appreciate it. We'll make it up next. Well, we'll make it up when there isn't some sort of furor at Tennessee.
I've been here 15 years. Is that?
That's never going to happen. Mark, thanks, buddy. I appreciate it. When we come back, candidates. Let's start talking. We've got a list of 15 guys whose names are going to run out. Danny White says he's not into candidates, into lists. So our list, the coach may not come from on this list, but we're going to throw out 15 names that we think are possibly going to be on there. That's next. Going back on the Sports Wheel.